Oh. Um. Too long lost time. So just. Hmm. Um. Close, 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 close. Open that, and then. Okay. So, let me just get the things open, and then we will go over this. Now, I just finished pretty much everything for uh for the next update for the marching across, say, for the March of Civilization. Um so I'm going to get that going. Unfortunately, I'm like 90% sure that I'm 90% sure that like I uninstalled Visual Studio, didn't I? Okay, anyways. Let's get park ideas open. Okay. Let's get this sorted. Oh gods, I'm huge. Okay, so let's get that rolling. I've got another little over 30. I've got 31 perks to go over. Let's get them in and... Oh yeah, I need to... Let's... All... Yeah. This needs to go to 541. No. 545. Jacked in. Hours. And we want to set I mean, it should be pretty cheap because ultimately what this is doing is just public network access. So we're gonna go with 50 for that. I'm actually kind of tempted to make it free. What's the current status on free perks? Yeah, we need more cheap perks to fix that distribution. 50 it is. Elemental spells. Magic. Yeah, just called magic. Hey Zed. Do you see the video I sent you on Discord? Oh. It is fun. Off 25. You gain an understanding of the fundamentals of manipulating one mystical element of your choice, such as fire, water, wind, lightning, light, dark, or perhaps or any other elemental. Yikes, that's unfortunate. Did you find out if you can get the screen replaced? Are you looking for a new phone? These cover basic exercises for training. Nice. Anything in particular you're looking for? Simple. Combat and utility. Fire mage. Fire. For example. Oh hey, Talk! It's been a while, thanks for the raid! I'm currently doing the next update for the March of Civilization. Fireball stuff? Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, unfortunately, things have gotten like weirdly busy off stream. Yeah, I've been really busy off stream, and I've had to cut down to basically 1 hour streams for a while. Hopefully, I'll be able to return to something closer to my normal streaming schedule in like another couple of weeks, but nothing I can do about that right now. Simple. And set fires. Yeah, you're in the US. How was the 250th July 4th? Say 4th of July, whatever. That's another. That. Oh. Your 250th is in a few years then, right? If I remember correctly, the US and Canada were formed fairly on a fairly similar timeline. Whoa. I did not expect Canada to be that much younger than the US. Yeah. Damn. That's like 89 years younger. So. Oh yeah, you were British. So you were a British colony for a long time. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like if the Brits hadn't fucked that up, like if the Commonwealth, yeah, yeah, like if the Commonwealth had been managed appropriately, right? I think it might have actually been like worked out well. Not that it was a good thing, but I think it could have become. Yeah, I think it could have become something good if the Brits hadn't fucked it up. Because legitimately, it was a massive trading power. No, but the US fucked up their colonial ambitions as well. They just fucked up. It just looks like they fucked up less because they had less time to be in the whole colonial powers race, and all of their like continental territories are defined. But they fucked up a lot of their like colonial efforts as well. But like think about it. Think about it. Imagine if the British Empire, instead of just like falling apart, they transferred to more of a federal model like the US did, where each of the nations had their own state laws, like quote unquote state laws, where each like country in the empire had that, and then you had federal laws that were like the Queen's laws or whatever bullshit. I don't know how it would have worked out. But imagine you had something like that. Yeah, and then you have the overall British Empire, it still exists. And imagine what that would look like from an international point of view. You have basically this one connected economy. No, like so let's put it this way. Let's say that the US still exists. The British still have like India, Australia, Canada, um friggin uh the India, Canada, Australia, the not like it's not Hong Kong, it's the other one. But I think might actually be Hong Kong. But like they have all of these places all over the world. They all have the same economy. So they all have a connected economy, and they all have like free trade between them, right? You effectively corner the entire international trade market, right? So you get trade, you get like international cost, so you get like improved mobility around the world, expanded land resources. Honestly, I think it would have changed it so that you still have the EU, right? The EU exists, it doesn't have the UK in it, but it has all of the European like continent countries. You have all the continent countries. You have the British Empire. I don't know if it'll still get called the British Empire. Maybe it's just like called the Commonwealth, like the British Commonwealth or some bullshit. You have that. You have the U.S. Yeah, like like when you think about Australia, right? Like yes, the native population were treated like absolute dog shit. But when you think of Australia and like you think of the people living there, like outside of the outback, like if you're in one of the major cities, it is in pretty good shape. So, and like Canada is like that as well. And I yeah. But imagine that continued to happen. Pretty well. I'm working on the next update for the March. Um I'm working on the next update for the March. And I want to get that done because I'm currently working on a major shift in chapter 55, which is going to have which is basically laying the groundwork for Jun cracking the inner sphere open. And honestly, the fact that Jun finally got the shift tool a couple of chapters ago, which was a huge thing. It completely fucked over my writing. But Jun got the shift tool. Which means that they have like an FTL technology which is arguably better than anything the inner sphere has. But yeah. Like I feel like if the British Empire existed, if the British Commonwealth still existed, it could be a massive stabilizing force and a massive, like, they are indeed. But yeah, they could have been a massive stabilizing force economically and like internationally. And I feel like with the amount of coastal nations that would be involved in that, it probably would have been a more manageable thing. Oh, did I do exponential inventory twice? I might have. Yep. Jun is already going to be working on developing that, and they are going to have better they are going to have better communications than Comstar. But it's not because they have better tech than Comstar. It's because they're willing to be so yeah. Anyways, in the setting, all FTL communication is handled by Comstar, which is basically um space Illuminati, but they also control like communication systems. Um. So yeah, um, I'm gonna knock that off. Yeah. Um, let's do 100. Busted. 50. 1. None. General. Okay. But yeah, hmm, nice. But yeah, marching across the inner sphere is basically a fan work, so I'm going off of Palmstar's bullshit. And FDL comms basically Jun is going to have way better FDL comms than anybody else in the setting, but it's not because oh that is hilarious because we know that war predates humanity. We have evidence of war in chimpanzees and ants. So we know for a fact that wild animals will um enact faction-based large-scale combat over resources and other such things. War and cruelty is not a human invention. Interesting. Do you gain the ability to unleash your true form and actually no, this should be 250. How should I write this? Okay. Yep. So, keep going, Italk. I will. Okay. Has gotten. Actually, no. I need to roll. Fuck. So we got 99. We got 100, which is the Honey I Shrunk the Things. Got additive manufacturing, which is basically 3D printers. O2 is Cosmic Wells, which failed. And then we also failed this, which was like ultimate sensor tech, which is actually pretty good for me because, you know, high level sensor tech is extremely, extremely broken. Gain you your form is merely a fusion of your being so far of human above mortals as they are above your you can now manifest true state unto the world. But even if you don't, you enjoy benefits of being effectively unkillable as your as even fatal. Dull to your exclusion are mere pinpricks to your true form. Yeah. Honestly, I can totally get that because Jun, in this story, Jun is basically is effectively the GPS and satellites side of the equation. Because, anyways, lore of BattleTech. Basically, it is pseudo post-apocalypse. Giant war, everybody blew themselves up, including all the smart guys. So nobody knows how to make half the shit that they use anymore. They've got like factories and shit that they can put resources in, get stuff out, but even that's limited. Jun, because of the march, is able to additional instant of this perk grants you result in another form that you may take on with your extrusion being effectively avatar of a hive mind connecting these bodies. Ooh, interesting. So, question. In your story, the miracles have disappeared and stuff, right? So, the miracles have disappeared and stuff. What happened to the god? Was she like, the goddess, was she like killed? Or was she just like, man, the fact that you even believe that my gifts could go away shows that you don't have enough faith in me, and therefore I'm not giving you my gifts. Oh. So is it like a ceiling thing? Wait, hold on. Let me see. You've got 3 nations here. Is it like one which were the previously religious people, then there's like the magic people and the techno people? So you have the height necessary to look at it. And accurately get at making things. How to stop things from. Okay. Okay. Prep. File tool can be like make this process more effective. How to use. Okay. Did she like become the main character so that she could one day join her husband or something? Yeah. How to get okay. Okay. A bet? You mean like they're not racing with each other? I'm assuming it's not like a formal bet. Okay. Oof. Heavy stuff. So, you gain a deep working knowledge of mundane physical. Intuit how to get the physical body back in. The working order. Okay. You can. Okay. And like the machine being broken. Like, does the machine being broken also cause problems, or? Um, from that. And even. Uh, Figure you can examine damage and count how to it full function effect. Hmm. Yeah, that would be pretty terrible. So that's the the religious side of things. What happens to the technology side of things? Or are they just generally in a better shape because they are um this in the um technologies. Hmm. Um, you gain the plan and um technical needed to recreate a set of scanners handheld large enough to scan organisms size of hundreds of meters long in size. These scanners allow for the non-invasive ability. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Um, Okay. Okay. The non invasively scan uh, living um organ or so sub insight into their ongoing process, allowing you to on any. This is too low, so I'm going to up that to 200. Let me check the stuff tab. Yeah, I think I will bump that down, not to 200, but like 150. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. You gain the ability to detect any flaws and okay. Okay. With easily able to list off that are or will causing will cause any problems. Yep. Will are that are currently or will one day cause cause harm to their ability to enjoy cause harm to their quality of life. Next one. Yikes. So yeah. Yeah. So I'm guessing like N-word was like only raised on movies or some shit, so they didn't have like a good understanding of how the world's supposed to work. And this is kind of how he begins to realize the that he's being lied to all the time. Okay, what do I call power armor? Uh, okay. What would I call this power armor perk? Because that's currently where I'm struggling. Hmm. Okay. They don't have their miracles anymore, right? Oh? Ah. Hmm. What do they do then? Uh. Personal power. Uh. 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 Stuff. Is played, right? Yeah, it is stuff. Hmm. Okay. Uh, you gain the designs for set of extremely capable power armor. Which designed for operations on land, underwater, in the air, and even space. This suit is capable of massively augmenting your strength, uh, protecting you from even anti-material. Um, fucking, even while and protect even while the shield is down. Okay. Okay. So what does the goddess want out of all of this? I assume she has a specific motivation. Okay. But like, why? Ah. Okay. Makes sense. With a single hit from bunker. The onboard weapon suite is easily capable of handling 20 of destroying armored vehicles and can. Yeah, I've been trying to get away from that because, like, I feel like I write best when I'm continuing on in a way that kind of extends further. Nice. Makes sense. The are easily to connect other weapons. The brain machine. Brain computer and the mountain points modifiable. Yeah, it definitely does seem quite interesting. When you do release it, I'll want to take a look. Is this something you're planning to publish, or is it just gonna stay in the vault for now? No, that's fine. I've got a lot of work to do on my own stuff. I love this. So I came up with this perk and I'm so happy with it. Oh, nice. But yeah, I came up with this perk and I'm so happy about it because it just feels funny that there's effectively paperwork that you can do that basically says, hey, no, Voldemort, you can't come back to life. You're actually dead. Just like, imagine like this perk in Warcraft or something. You kill a demon, you fill out some paperwork, demon does not come back ever. This is yeah, always fun. But yeah, I'm working on rebalancing my perks so that they are they're more even. But that requires me doing a lot more stuff. It's more like, you know how in Dungeons and Dragons there's this thing where the resurrect spell can't resurrect someone who's been dead for more than 100 years. And like there are tiers to this. There's like there's the lower level spell that can only resurrect a person if they've been dead for less than 10 minutes. There is the version that can do it for less than 100 years. And then there's like the divine version, which doesn't care. But the idea is, if you want to think about it from a spiritual point of view, it is the first 10 minutes is before the like Grim Reaper shows up and takes your soul to the afterlife. Then you spend 100 years in line to be processed. And then once you're processed, you end up like deep in the afterlife where it requires like a god to go drag your soul out of the underworld in order for you to be resurrected. And then yeah, so for this one it is okay, I'm going to fill out all the paperwork so that ooh, interesting. Are you going to do by the way, how much of a setting breaker would this perk be in your story? Oh wait, no, this has a dependency. It is spiritual energy. This is basically, you can punch God and make him bleed. The perk. True. Yeah. It's always fun to see stuff like that. 50. So, it can kill them, assuming you deal a fatal wound. But this is, okay, I can do damage to a god that they can't just casually heal. It is, I can make this go from a single event where you have to do lethal damage to them to I can constantly wear them out. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So you get like different magic for different strains. Have you considered what would happen if they used like uh other drugs? Like if they were involving themselves in like I don't know. Okay. Oh no, so Rebellion is supposed to be a low level perk because it does jack shit. It's supposed to build on other things, right? So Rebellion even if you had Rebellion and you went to go punch a god, unless that god was like unless the god was like humoring you and allowing you to get a blow in, it would not matter for shit. If you had a bunch of other perks that made it so that you could land a blow on a god, Rebellion would be very useful. But okay, interesting. I mean, it depends on if you are, say, if you are able, like, if your spiritual well being is connected to them. Because if it is, like, if their actual, like, location, like the location of their spirit is in your head, then I guess that would work. But if it's like, oh no, they're just squatting in your soul somewhere, you would still need to punch your soul. But I guess the fact that this perk does require you to gain some access to spiritual energy to begin with, I guess you could theoretically... Yeah, it's... So, the bigger thing about Rebellion is that it makes it so that damage you deal... it makes it so that damage you deal becomes permanent. That is really the big thing about it. Is that when you deal damage, it can still build up. It's like, okay, for this wound, cannot be regened. Like, I am doing damage to your maximum, your max HP. Not 120. 250. Let me check. 250 is too high. Okay, whatever. Make do scrying. Yeah, so I guess like if the god in question was squatting in your soul, then maybe, but only really because of the fact that the perk comes by default with some understanding of your spiritual energy. So you would be able to sense the squatter in your soul. But if it's like, oh no, they're just like an intangible asshole sitting in your head, this wouldn't fix that. Yeah. Yep. But Mhm. Did I already do Brawler? No, I didn't. Oh, I need to also do... Uh... Also, I'm probably going to do a major change to the Forge at some point. Hmm. Yikes. But yeah, I'm planning on doing a pretty major change to the Forge in a little bit, which is hmm, um, um um the major change is going to be that I am going to make the alternate forms more separate. So I'm probably going to change the current alternate forms perk to be like alternate humanoid forms, and then I will add a beast form perk and like monstrous form perk and that kind of thing. Yeah, it is annoying. Mm. Mm. Interesting. Um, I'm gonna make this 25 max, none martial. If 75. One bionic. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Cost is going to be, this is a big one. Where can I fit this in on the curve? Honestly, bumping up 800 would be useful. Huh? Ooh. That does seem interesting. Yeah, this is the one that I replaced the other one with. Back. 75. Mm, oh yeah. With the volume. Oh no, that's not right. Okay, there's going to be a bunch of spiritual ones now because I really wanted to bump up the numbers for spiritual. What is the scene? Okay. Okay. I believe the Twitch. Oh, the Twitch app. It's like a picture-in-picture thing. Yeah. Floating window thing. Wait. Oh wait, did I just do a bunch of? Here it is. This is the big chunk of spiritual ones. Nice. But yeah, I really want to rebalance the perk distribution across the different ones. Oh. Yeah. Honestly, I'm going to be making some changes to like I'm working on alternative to streamer bot, and I'm going to be creating a thing that checks if I'm live on each thing. Oh. But no. Good. And then I just need to do spiritual for all of these. Yeah. Then spiritual energy for all of these. One repeat for all of these. So Naruto and D. Okay. Good night, man. Yeah, don't worry. But for Naruto and D&D, there's a couple of things that you want to like. It depends on which, depends on which aspect of Naruto you're kind of trying to go for, because like the full scale of Naruto is going to be pretty difficult. But the pre-pain arc, there's a few things there, right? You want to do some level of the cloning. You want your big fuck off explosion with the Rasen Shuriken, and you want what's it called? Yeah, peace. Yeah, so you want Russian Shuriken, you want like Sage mode, and you want. Oh, I guess no, Sage mode is Anar. So it's just Imperfect Russian Shuriken and Shadow Clones and Rasengan. I mean, the you throw it thing for the Russian Shuriken was because of Sage mode, right? Before Naruto had Sage mode, he couldn't throw the Russian Shuriken. But would this make be better to do it as we'll do 150. Actually, we'll do 250. Why not? For both of those. What? Good night, man. So we probably want Simulacrum. Not Clone. Clone is a different spell in D&D. D&D. Clone. It's not Clone. Simulacrum. So there is Simulacrum, which is, I think, the closest thing there is to a Shadow Clone. Problem is, this is a very expensive spell. It's a 7th level spell. It is a very high level spell. Yeah, sorry about the flashbang there. Gods, this shot. Say Rasengan is fairly easy. Rasengan is like basically inflict wounds would be enough. So the reason why I say inflict wounds would be the correct one is it does a lot of damage and it's really, say it's a touch range spell. So this is Rasengan, and you can probably just upcast it to... Is there like harm? Harm 5e. But yeah, inflict wounds would work for a Rasengan. I think harm, say either harm or some sort of close range fireball would work. Harm does definitely work for like the mechanics of the Russian Shuriken. Yeah, Russian Shuriken is wind. But the reason we say necromancy is because the Russian Shuriken does like cell level damage. The thing about this is it doesn't hurt you, so that kind of doesn't affect there. But this does make sense, where like it's doing this would basically cripple anything it hits. And The big thing is shadow clones, because it's such a busted ability. Yeah, let's do this at 175. No. This is a fairly... I'm gonna make this 350. For all three of these. This will be 75. And this will be... 400. And this is gonna be a big one, because it's basically anti-stealth. Fuck you. 550? 550 works. If we say the only thing... Yeah, but the thing about Simulacrum is it's very expensive to do. But if we just do Rasengan, the Rasen Shuriken, which we can do with inflict wounds on that one. Oh, for this one, I am currently on line 26 of 30, so just 4 more. I have Reading the Flow, in Inedia, Manifestation, and Realization, which are all psionic spells. Psionic perks. And then I also need to knock one off of here, because I accidentally did... what's it called? I accidentally did thingy twice. Blood Librarian contributed a few, but all of these are original, or they're references, but they are written in an original way. Not that big of a deal. I've been writing this for years, so the fact that I have 500 odd perks is not too big of a deal. Oh, I know this would be... okay. Yeah, but that requires you to be able to cast Wish. The problem with Naruto as a D&D character is that he's basically got like 6 really... So you've got like 4 really broken abilities and nothing else. So... let's see. I think there's still 2 right now. If you're currently background playing, it is still saying 2. Might take a little while to update, but... Okay, now I just need to do cost. Manifestation and Realization are going to be both pretty expensive. think around 600 would be good. No, that's a bit too expensive. 450 works. But between them, that's a 900 point perk. And that is definitely worth that. Reading the flow is going to be somewhere mid-level. 350? 350 works. Inedia is basically Frieza's power set, by the way. Like Frieza's thing where he can breathe in space. It's also like an existing, like a fairly common sonic power, like a actual reference. Okay, cool. So now I just need to format this in a way that file, export. Yeah. Honestly, I kind of agree with you, and that's why I never got into My Hero Academia. Because I wish that My Hero would have been more like Rock Lee in MHA. Right? Where instead of Izuku getting one for all, it would have been Izuku quirkless in this world where obviously even quirkless people can do some absolutely bullshit stuff. And that makes Izuku like a massive pain in the ass for a lot of the enemies in the series. Like, think about it. Izuku, quirkless. He is immune to oh yeah, it did drop, by the way. But or maybe that's just no longer counting Italk, but whatever. But think about it. You've got the trigger stuff, which is like where they're like deleting quirks, but Izuku doesn't have a quirk. So that's cool. And then you have what do you call it? Yeah, like Izuku's not say Izuku's quirkless. So you get the stuff with the quirk destroying drug. Izuku's immune to that. You get him against All for One. That would have been like a really cool balance where the idea is, oh, you've got this like quirk stealing abomination who's able to do all of this shit. But now, because Izuku is immune to it, the most that All for One can do that another quirk using villain can't do is give Izuku a quirk, which just makes him stronger. So I feel like MHA would have been MHA, like another story similar to MHA where Izuku was, yeah. But the thing about the quirk erasing bullets is that they were really more of injectors than anything else. CSV. Save this first. Then file, save as, XCSV, yeah. Okay, good. And then I'm gonna go here. Yeah, definitely. But I feel like there's a better story that isn't told. So, the way you balance magic casters in D&D is that casting spell requires a spell slot of that level or higher. So, a second level spell cannot be cast with a second level spell slot, but it cannot be cast with a first level spell slot, but you can cast it with a second level or a third level or whatever. And it goes from 1 to 9. You also have cantrips, which are quote unquote level 0, but that just means that you can cast them infinitely for free. Which is why Simulacrum is a bitch, because it's a 7th level spell. And even the highest level of wizards only have like 3 or 4 of those a day. But the thing about Simulacrum is they also don't go away, so that's another thing. Oh yeah, I was going to... let's find a new code editor. Oh, this is AI bullshit, isn't it? Okay. Oh yeah, Notepad++. Do I not have Notepad? Oh, I do have Notepad++ installed. That is interesting. Open folder as workspace. Select folder. Close that. And then we have perks.csv. Okay, cool. And then we had a converter.py. Does this? Okay, open perks.csv. Perks.temp. Oh yeah, I need to do perks.temp, don't I? Do I not have perks.temp? Apparently I don't. New perk. Why do I not see my good. Let's rename that. Perks.temp. Yep. Yeah. But yeah, honestly, I think MHA, I think there is a story in the MHA universe that works so much better if Izuku was quirky. Okay, yada yada. Oh, hold on. Oh, is that what it was? Ah, That's why I screwed up. Okay, so I can get rid of this. Delete sheet, yes. Bind, file, save as to text CSV, save, yes. Yes, okay. Close. Now if I look at this, yeah, it has everything there. And now if I run Python, what the fuck? Where in the what? Print len. Four, 5, 4. Do I need to? Okay, I think I know what happened. Ta-da. I must have screwed up the Ionic. Row ID. $5.30. What is the issue with $5.30? Oh, it's psionics. Okay, that's why. Okay, good. Save as text CSV, save, yes. Yeah. Close that. Now. Nice, and we should have full set of hooks. Put everything in here. We go into mock.js. Okay, we got that in here. Then we do python-m-http.server. Then we do localhost 8000 and mock.html. Check, we've got all of that stuff. We've got all of the perks in there. Good, okay. Roll, okay. Habitual, outrage mind. Physical chemistry, cool. Architecturalization, 3R, semiconductor resolution. Blacksmith, ruin radar, yada yada, bespoke, wormhole gates, combat kit, spatial communicators. Blacksmith, assembly of arcs, plasma logic. Anatomy, fusion core, survival kit. True donut stuff, automotive, weaponized acoustics, humors, certified confidential, pressure points, commercial friction. Oh yeah, one of the ones did come up. Okay, cool. That seems to be working appropriately. I am going to grab this and do the roll. So we're going to download that. Reopen that. 8000 HTML. We're going to upload upload that and roll. Ooh, that is an interesting perk for Jun to roll. Because that is very interesting. That is a very interesting alchemical perk. How does this impact, like... No, so this is hot and cold from traditional alchemical perspective, which is more along the lines of like reactive and active and passive. So a hot element causes things to change, while the cold element breaks down change, kind of. So we look up alchemy hot cold. So when we take a look at this, we've got the four, in traditional alchemy, we have fire, air, water, and earth. Water is cold and dry. Fire is hot and dry. Yeah, here. So fire is hot and dry, air is hot and wet, water is cold and wet, and earth is cold and dry. So in this sense, hot is active and cold is receptive. It's almost like yin and yang a little bit, where yin is like the receptive element and yang is the active element, kind of. I'm thinking about how this interfaces with Jun's broader capabilities. Because you have to remember that Jun is making use of alchemical properties in a lot of their tech. Like, they have a purification alchemical perk that they use to make their purifiers better. It's why, like, normal ass distillation almost purifiers can achieve like semiconductor processing levels of purity. So I'm thinking about like with hyperspace tech, right? You've got the ability to detect hyperspace events and the ability to cause hyperspace events. I think this theoretically would allow Jun to create jump drives that can be put on a jump ship. Because they could theoretically distill germanium into a hot germanium, which could be used to cause hyperspace events like jumps, and a cold germanium, which would be able to like detect hyperspace events. That's one reading of it. Another thing could be liquid light. Right, Jun has that. So Jun could do like Jun already has Jun. Okay, so I did this a little while ago in the writing, but based on some of the other tech that like the engineers who are working with liquid light developed, Jun created L2 enhanced armor, which basically acts as like a hyper efficient refraction medium for light that distributes the effectively instantly defocuses light impacting the armor, making it far more effective. But if Jun has this, could they create hot L2 and cold L2? And what would that mean? So hot fusion and cold fusion has nothing to do with energy stuff, unless you're talking about like in this sense of alchemical hot fusion and cold fusion. But that's not really how distillation works. Because in this sense, distillation is about breaking down things. Maybe you could apply distillation to like a fusion engine so that you could peel off the hot elements, that is the energy of the fusion reaction, and then pull out the cold elements, which is like the matter being produced. So it would allow you to like get the energy separate from the matter you're producing, which would be also pretty interesting. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, I think that's where today's stream has to end. Let's wrap things up. Thanks for dropping by, everyone. It was really great having you. And good night.